This is an establishment action that was filed by the state involving one child, approximately 1 year old, with an acknowledgement of paternity that was signed by both parties and filed with our pleadings. We do have, I think we have a partial agreement, at least as far as the conservatorship for joint managing with mom as primary. Dad is requesting there be a geographic restriction for the child's residence to the state of Texas. I'll leave Mr. Fisher to state what he wants as far as visitation. Dad is requesting the third weekend, Saturdays and Sundays for daytime visits. He was open to the times that are set. He was okay with driving to mom's residence, and then possibly a step-up provision until the child turns 3, and then a standard possession order, possibly meeting halfway at that point. Let's see.
And what was the father requesting? Slow down a little bit on the visitation.
Sure.
At the beginning, what did he want to do?
At the beginning, he's just requesting there be maybe the third weekend, Saturdays and Sundays. He states he doesn't know where mom lives, but if she lives here in this area, that's about 5 hours away from where he lives.
How much time on Saturday? How much time on Sunday?
I believe Mr. Lopez was open to the court's decision on that. He was okay to step up because the child's only 1 right now.
So in other words, 1 weekend a month, the third weekend, he'd like to be able to come down and visit at mom's on Saturday and then come down and visit at mom's on Sunday.
I think he was open to whatever the court states on those. He was willing to come to this area. I'm not sure if mom's okay with it being at her house, but I think she also wants to be in her area.
Right. Okay. All right. And the child's age 1?
Yes, sir.
What's the child's name?
Mr. Lopez?
Stacy Hope Lopez.
Stacy Hope Lopez?
Yes.
Female child?
Yes.
Date of birth?
4/13/2024.
Okay. All right. So Stacy's coming up on 5. I'm sorry, 2 years old.
2. Yes, that's correct, Judge.
And an AOP has been signed, so paternity is not an issue.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, the other portion is as far as the child support portion, Mr. Lopez gave me some information about his gross income and 1 other child he has. And so based on what he provided me, I calculated we would be asking for government medical to be ordered to be paid back at $122 a month. And then child support would be $390. That would start February 1st. And then we calculated retroactive child support. The amount would be $6,576 to be repaid at $83 a month, also starting on February 1st. And I do believe mom is asking for a non-disclosure of her information as well as use of one of the parenting apps.
Okay.
Okay. And I believe Mr. Fisher has an argument against the amounts that were calculated as well. We based ours off of Mr. Lopez's information he provided to me of $2,700 gross per month with 1 other child.
2,700
Yes, sir.
a month gross. Where does Mr. Lopez work? You said he provided it. Does he work for a set employer?
I can ask him those questions, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. All right. So based on the 2,700 a month gross with 1 other child, you came up with child support of $390 a month. And based on that, you also came up with cash medical $122 a month. And you came up with a retro number of $6,576 payable at $83 a month, all beginning February 1, 2026, correct?
Yes, sir. That's right.
So that's the recommendation of the state at this time?
Based on the information we were given, yes.
Right, right. Okay, all right. Don't worry, Mr. Fisher. I know you've been being very courteous and quiet. I was just trying to make as many notes as I could. find
don't
out what's
know.
contested, what's not, and then we could go from there. Okay? So,
Sure.
all right. Okay, so is there anything else you want to let me know, Miss Stevens, on what either is the agreement or the state's proposal?
No, sir, I believe that's everything.
Okay. All right, Mr. Fisher.
Yeah.
You've heard what Miss Stevens has presented, and let me kind of go down and maybe we can clear up some of the stipulations.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Fisher, you do agree that there's one child, Stacy Hope Lopez, a female child born April 13th, 2024, correct?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, and are you agreeing that an AOP has been signed, so
Yes.
paternity is being established effective
Yes.
today per the AOP, okay? And are you also agreeing that the parties would be joint managed conservators with mom as primary?
I agree on that part of it. Yes.
Okay, all right. That's what I'm doing. I'm just checking. I'm not trying to trap you. I'm just trying to figure it out. Okay, I understand that the father has asked for a geographic restriction to the state of Texas. Are you okay with that?
I am.
Okay. See, we're making progress. Okay. So we
Sort of.
don't have an issue on the geo. Okay. All right. So with regards to the visitation, which it sounds like that's going to be something I'm going to be having to hear some evidence on. We don't actually have a set plan. Just what I heard was that Mr. Lopez would like to start seeing the child. Child's going to be already 2 years old in a couple of months. He'd like to start seeing the child on the third weekend of the month, on Saturday and Sunday sometime. Are you opposed to that as a initial visitation term?
We actually will offer more than that. We want him to be a dad. He can have one day, one weekend, every other weekend. Of course, it has to be supervised, and we'll put on evidence why. But and then we can go to 3 years till the child's 3, but he's going to have to come back and change that. And you'll see why.
Okay, so you're saying and I'm trying to hear y'all's proposal before I get into you, Ms. Johnson, and I will, okay? And you, Mr. Lopez, and I will. I'm just trying to clarify as much as possible. It makes things move faster. So that y'all's proposal, Mr. Fisher, is that you actually don't have a problem with how much he's asked for. You've actually offered a little bit more than what he's asked for, because y'all want him to become comfortable and the child get comfortable, everybody comfortable. And the only thing y'all have asked for is that initially the visits be supervised. And do you have a provision of how long it should be supervised, Mr. Fisher, or do you want to get into that with the evidence?
Until he comes back to court and tries to modify it, with some cause of why he should do that. Unless my client at that time agrees. We're
Right.
skeptical to say the least, but we'll offer him as much as we can.
I get you. Okay. So you see what I'm hearing, Mr. Fisher, the only issue is when it would go to a standard and how long the supervision would be in place. But you're actually possibly offering more than what Mr. Lopez has asked for, because for the welfare of the child, you feel like, and I'm speculating here, but y'all's feeling is the more he sees the child, the more comfortable the child's going to be with dad, the more comfortable mom's going to be with dad having time with the child, because she'll see that the child's fine, right?
You're
Is that a fair
exactly right.
statement? Okay, so I'm going to put a question mark by visitation. All right. Are y'all opposed to visitation being at mom's house?
Here's the thing, and I tried to send a message to Christina. She doesn't want him to know where he lives, but she now lives in that area. So he's not going to have to drive 5 hours. It's more like an hour. And so normally we would say, well, maybe he gets a credit if he drives, 3 weekends or so a month. But she lives in the area. She obviously doesn't want him to know where he lives, but they could pick a police station or a safe place and have that.
Okay, so you're saying mom lives close, at least within an hour of dad right now,
Absolutely.
and mom does not want dad to know her residence.
Correct.
Okay, and mom wants to know dad's residence.
I don't know if she does.
Okay, all right.
I don't think she cares.
Okay. Well, we'll get into that in a minute. Okay, now with regards to the parenting app, that's something y'all want, correct?
Correct.
And y'all want the non-disclosure clause, right? Correct,
Correct.
Mr. Fisher? Okay,
Yep.
all right. All right, now with regards to the child support, um, the state, and I guess we could get into the questions if you want to wait to
I
get
wanna
into
wait.
questions on the amount of the child support. You may or may not have an objection. At this point, you've got some questions, I assume, about his income. And I do too, to be honest with you. If you don't ask him, I'm gonna ask him. So, or Miss Stevens might ask, but we'll get it out there. Okay. All right. I think in my long-winded way, I've gotten some clearance or clarification on what's agreed to. So this, I guess we'll do it like this. Ms. Stevens, you may call your first witness.
Okay. I'll start with Mr. Lopez. Can you please state your name?
Charles Anthony Lopez.
Thank you, sir. Did you hear the terms that I read to the court that I stated were your requests?
Yes.
Was that a correct representation of what you're asking for?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Um, when did you separate from Miss Johnson?
September 15th of 2024.
Prior to that, were you living together in the same home with the child?
Yes.
Okay. Since that time, have you provided any support for the child?
Very few, but yes.
Do you know how much you sent?
No.
Okay. How often have you seen your daughter since that time?
I have not seen my daughter since September or March 2nd of 2025.
Okay. Was that in person?
No. In person would be Thanksgiving of 2024.
Okay. So after Thanksgiving, how many times did you see your daughter in person?
On pretty much in person, none, but through a video, several times a week
And why was that?
because she moved to Rockport.
Okay. Did you come up with an agreement to this video visitation?
Sort of. It was like a verbal, but that was about it. It wasn't never through court or anything like that.
Okay. And was that pretty regular up until March of this year?
Yes,
Okay. How old is your daughter?
one.
And how were the video calls going? Did she recognize you?
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Is it correct that you're pretty open about visitation at this point?
yes, ma'am.
And did you hear Mr. Fisher's request that it be supervised?
That's fine.
You're in agreement with that.
Yes,
Um, now he's requesting it be indefinite until further order of the court, which means you'd have to come back and modify. Are you okay with that?
yes.
Okay. Do you have anybody in mind that you would be okay being the supervisor?
No, that
Okay. Are
somebody
you
that she trusts and I trust as well.
okay? Um, are you okay driving to the child's location to a public place, possibly?
Yes,
Okay. As far as Mr. Fisher said that you live about an hour away now with mom's new location, it seems. Would you want the first, third, and fifth weekends?
yes.
Okay. Do you have any times that work best for you?
Whatever works around their schedule.
Okay. And you're okay with it being no overnights, is that right?
Yes,
Even if it's until further order of the court?
yes,
All right. Now, let's see. Are you okay with mom's request for the non-disclosure of her information and to communicate through a parenting app?
yes.
Okay. Do you have any parenting app in mind? We did talk about Our Family Wizard, and there is a fee of somewhere near $100 a year on that one. Are
I'm
you
I'm
okay with
I'm
that
fine.
one?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay. And then the only other matter then is the support portion. Now, are you currently working?
Yes,
Do you work full time?
yes.
Do you have
Christina,
an
because
hourly
of that,
wage, or do you just make salary, or how do you get paid?
Hourly and plus tips.
Okay. Now when we talked before, you gave me about 2,700 gross per month. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And does that include your hourly wage as well as your
That's
tips?
yes.
Okay. And how many other children do you have that are yours?
I have two more, but one's grown, and I have a 10-year-old.
Okay. And then do you have any insurance available for your work or any other source?
No.
Okay. And the amount that I provided to the court was based on that information that you just testified to. Were you okay with these amounts?
Yes.
Okay. I have nothing further.
I've got a couple of quick questions, Mr. Fisher. I might be jumping in on where you would go, but I think it'll help if I can get some clarification. If y'all will just oblige me a little bit. Mr. Lopez, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Where do you actually work at, Mr. Lopez?
Wings over Heath.
Wings Over Heat?
Heath.
Is that a restaurant?
Yes.
Okay. What city is that in?
Rockwall Heath.
Where at?
Rockwall Heath.
Rockwall?
Heath. Yes. Texas.
Okay, and Rockwall, isn't that like halfway up to Dallas?
It's in Dallas
Yes.
County.
It's in Dallas.
It's in Dallas, yeah.
Okay, and mom has now moved up to that area, Mr. Fisher?
Near there.
Okay, all right. All right, so working for Wings Over Heat, Mr. Lopez, what do you do for them? Are you a cook, or are you a chef, or are you a waiter, or are you a maitre d'?
I'm a
What do you
bar.
do?
I'm a bartender and a barback.
Bartender, okay. And what is your hourly rate?
Depends on what I clock in under. If I'm a barback, I make 10 an hour. If I'm a bartender, I make 3.15.
You make 10 an hour, but if you're a bartender, you make 13.50?
No, 3.15 an hour. $3.15 an hour.
Okay, because then you're relying on the tips.
Yes, that's correct, Judge.
Okay. $10 an hour or tips. Okay, I see. All right. And you're saying, how long you been working there?
In February will be a year.
Okay, so coming up on a year, you gross about 2,700 a month. And let's see, at $10 an hour, hang on a minute. Let me see what that works out to. Right about 12. Okay, it sounds like you're grossing about $1,733 a month at just straight $10 an hour. So because of the tips, you're saying you pick up an extra 1,000 a month in tips.
Yes,
And so you end up at about 2,700 a month in your gross,
correct.
right?
Right,
Okay.
Judge.
Okay, all right. Okay, I get it. Okay. All right. With regards to the visitation, um, you said, okay, I'd love to have first, third, and fifth weekend of the month on Saturday and Sunday. And you've already agreed no overnights yet. You've also agreed to supervise.
Yes.
Okay, I agree with that as far as that's a good plan to get you comfortable and most importantly, you need Miss Johnson to be comfortable because
Yes.
I don't blame her. She's going to protect that child. Okay.
Correct.
So it actually helps Miss Johnson if you become a good father and a responsible, active father, because as according to the state of Texas, we do believe it's best for children to have both parents involved in their lives, and it's in the best interest of the kids. And so that's a good thing that you are stepping up and that Ms. Johnson wants you to step up. And in fact, has actually offered more visitation than you actually initially requested. So with regards to the Saturday, Sundays with no overnights and supervised, how much time would you want on Saturday and how much time would you want on Sunday? And approximately from what time to what time? Now, let me just run this by you so you understand when I'm asking that question. because it's a loaded question, and I need Ms. Johnson to pay attention to it as well, because I'm gonna want her input on this, okay? Are you, if you say, well, I'd like to have from 6 in the morning till 6 in the evening, well, that's gonna be a problem, okay? Getting the baby up that early, I know you're not asking that, but, getting the baby up that early and doing all that, and then having to meet at a public place, y'all got to find a public place to meet at. So give me a time, as picture that you're gonna go to some public place, a McDonald's, hopefully, something like that, not a police station. Hopefully somewhere y'all can actually sit, relax, and like have a drink, soda and chalk and snack on something. And so, what kind of a time period are you asking for on Saturday? And what kind of a time period are you asking for on Sunday? Do you have a request?
I mean, it'd be great, like in the daylight, from like I guess 1 to 4.
Okay, from 1 to 4, okay, on Saturday, and 1 to 4 on Sunday?
That's perfectly fine with me, Judge.
Okay, public place. All right, I'm gonna have some questions for you, Ms. Johnson, so be ready, okay?
Okay.
It's gonna have to do with the visitation, all right? And all I'm trying to do, guys, is come up with a good plan, okay? Something that encourages Mr. Lopez to be a father and to be there without putting too much stress on him. It's too much strain, and I'm glad you've moved closer where you're only an hour away from him. And also something that you can get comfortable with, Ms. Johnson, so that eventually y'all can work out your own visitation for the future. Because at this point in time, there's no way for us to know how it's going to go. I don't know if after 3 months, after 6 months, after a year, I just don't know what it's going to be like. And the best thing that can happen is that Mr. Lopez understands that he's under the spotlight right now. So when y'all come back to modify, if Mr. Lopez has been a good father and doing well on visits and no issues and no problems, obviously a court would consider giving him a lot more time. If he has not been and not been coming around and the child has not gotten used to him and he's not exercised the visits that he's requested, then I'm not, no court's going to be inclined to start increasing a lot, because they're going to say, whoa, you had your chance to make it better, to get a comfort zone. Do you understand, Ms. Johnson?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lopez, do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I am trying to leave this flexible for y'all, instead of putting a rigid schedule in there. But I do need to start with some kind of a rigid schedule so that you can come at set times and meet her at a set place and get your visits. And that way Ms. Johnson can see that you're capable of properly caring for the child and enjoying your time with the child. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And that's what you're asking for, correct, Mr. Lopez?
That is correct, Judge.
How long did you and Ms. Johnson live together?
Over a year.
Okay, all right. So for over a year, y'all lived together, and y'all actually separated in December of 2024.
Can you say that again, Judge?
When did y'all separate? When did y'all stop living together?
September 15th of 2024.
Oh, September of 2024, right. Okay, so when the baby was born, y'all were living together.
Yes, correct, Judge.
Okay, so you were there in the child's life day in and day out until September of 2024.
Right, Judge.
Right? Okay, all right. Okay, I just wanted to get some of that background in. Sorry, Mr. Fisher, I know I'm jumping in your areas, but I just need to know kind of, hey, I don't know the picture. So I'm trying to get a picture of what was happening, and I'm going to want input from both sides on that. Mr. Lopez, do you know of any reason why Miss Johnson is going to want non-disclosure? Was there any kind of family violence in this thing?
There was a case, yes.
Okay, what happened? I'm going to ask you too, Miss Johnson, don't worry. Mr. Lopez, what's your description of what happened and when?
It happened in September. We had an argument and she left the car.
She left the car?
Yeah,
Y'all were in a vehicle, in your vehicle?
it was her vehicle.
It was in her vehicle. And what do you mean she left the car? She just got out of the car?
Yes.
Where was the baby?
She was at home with her mother.
Okay, so you and Miss Johnson were together, in her vehicle and there was some kind of an argument. Was this around the time that y'all separated?
Yes.
Did y'all separate before that incident or after that incident?
We had a couple of times where we would I would still get to see my daughter, but she was at a friend's house, she would stay. And it started happening probably around August of that time or July of that time. And she would come home after like 3 or 4 days of us arguing, but it just proceeded worse in September.
Okay, and all right. So when she got out of the car, was there physical violence at that time?
No.
Okay. All right. Were the police called?
Yes. I don't know. I wasn't there when she came home. I wasn't there.
Okay. All right. Okay. And again, Ms. Johnson, I'm going to ask you your description of what happened, but was that the last time y'all physically were together in the same vehicle or together at all?
No.
Okay. After that, y'all were back together some?
Yeah, she came back. She moved to Rockport and then she came back in November for Thanksgiving holidays. And I got to spend time with them. And then she left after the holidays, and I haven't seen them since.
Did you make
Just
any
physically.
Mr. Lopez, did you make any threats against Ms. Johnson at that time? Physical
Yes.
threats?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, Judge.
Did you ever act out on any of the physical threats?
I went to a psychiatric ward in March
Of 2025?
of 20. Yes,
Do you have anger issues, Mr. Lopez?
I do, sir.
Do you feel like you've got your anger issues under control right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is Miss Johnson afraid of you?
I'm assuming.
Have you ever hit Miss Johnson?
No.
Okay.
But the report says I have. So
Okay. All right. Did you assault Miss Johnson in any way? Grab her by the throat, hold her down, knock her down, anything like that?
I've held her down before.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. All right. Okay. All right. And that all happened within the last 2 years?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, when was the last time there was an incident that happened where Miss Johnson would have a reason to be scared of you? When was the last time?
Probably March. But they weren't present here. It was just it was through a phone.
Okay, so it was some threats you made on the telephone.
Yes.
What did you threaten her with?
I don't remember. I do not recall.
Okay, but you recognize you have a problem, so you went to a psych ward.
Correct.
Are you currently under treatment?
Yes.
Do you take medication?
They're trying to get me on medication again, but I have to go through the court system because I'm put on probation for another case.
You're put on
So
probation.
they're trying to get me
What are you on probation
assault.
for? Assault?
Assault. Yes.
Who did you assault?
Yes, Judge. Barbara, I forgot what her name was. I don't remember her last name.
Was it a girlfriend type of person or just?
Correct, Judge.
All right. So is that case still pending?
No, I'm on probation right now, but I'm ordered to go through my health and mental evaluation.
Okay. All right. Because of that case and your sister history, Miss Johnson, you're agreeing you've had some issues. You're agreeing you're on probation. You're agreeing you're monitoring it now. And that all happened, the last time was in March of 2025?
That's when I went to psychiatric ward, but I got sentenced on probation of October.
Okay. But have there been any more incidents with you and anyone else of family violence of any kind since March of 2025?
Well, the Casey Johnson incident was in September of 2024, but no, I have not been in any kind of trouble.
Okay, what I'm wondering is if Miss Johnson's going to say, Judge, I'm scared because he's still acting out. He's still not under control. And is it this incident that happened with this other woman? When was that approximately? I don't need an exact day. It's just your ballpark.
2022.
Way
Or
back in
20,
20,
it's 2021 or 2022.
okay, so it was prior to Miss Johnson.
Yes.
Okay. So the last incident you had of any type that would have made Miss Johnson scared would have been in March of 2025.
Yes.
All right, and it's your testimony, there's been no other threats, no other outbursts,
I
no.
have not had contact with them, Judge, since then.
Okay, all right. And it's your testimony that you're now under control, getting treatment, carrying a full-time job, and and having your anger issues under control.
Correct, Judge.
All right, okay. And you realize, Mr. Lopez, that the state of Texas and all the courts, the judges, we take family violence very serious. You
I
understand?
understand. Yes, sir.
Okay, I mean, it's that old thing about 3 steps forward, 2 steps backwards. When there's a family violence incident, it's 5 steps backwards, okay? You really undo a lot of good whenever you have a family violence incident of any kind, because I certainly don't want that child exposed to that, and I don't want Miss Johnson exposed to that. Do we understand each other, Mr. Lopez?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, all right, and Miss Johnson, I want you to understand, y'all can always come back to me if there's an incident. I'm gonna be watching and I'm gonna be paying attention. And I'm not doing that as a threat, Mr. Lopez. I'm just letting you know how I deal with those things. Take it very serious. I don't want any child or any person getting hurt on my watch. Do you understand?
I understand, Judge.
Oh, okay, all right, okay, all right. So I've got a picture now of what happened. And I'm going to ask Ms. Johnson in a minute for her version of all this, but I think it's only appropriate that I let Mr. Fisher ask you some questions if he has some at this time.
Yeah. This is like
Go ahead, Mr. Fisher.
it's like court in Costa Rica where the judges ask all the questions and the attorneys just sit there. But
I know.
okay. Mr. Lopez, do you know what perjury is?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that if a material fact is a felony and it's punishable by 2 years, 2 to 10 years, could be probation, but you're on probation. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
You know who Kenda Kilpatrick is?
No, sir.
She's the district attorney in your county. Okay. And she's not very nice. She's nice to me, I guess. But at any rate, okay. So let's start with this child. Let's ask you a few questions. Be really accurate. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What kind of convictions do you have? How many times have you been found guilty or sentenced to something, probation in a court over the last 5 years?
Once for the case I'm on, for the probation I'm on right now.
That's the only time you've ever had problems with the court in your life?
Nope.
No means you've never
No,
had
sir.
any other problems. Okay.
No, I've had problems before, but that was when I was younger.
Okay. All right. Now let's do that child support over again. You
Mhm.
claim that you only make $1,000 a month in tips.
Yeah,
When you were with Casey Johnson, wasn't your tip money equal to, maybe sometimes more than your salary?
I didn't catch that. You were glitching.
When you were with Miss Johnson, you also worked. Wasn't the money that you received from tips equal to or approximately the same, maybe even more than your salary?
That was when I was working for another bar. I was
So
not working for.
now you've picked a bar that pays much less in tips. Is that what you're trying to tell us?
Correct.
Okay. Now you're also getting credit for paying for another child, correct?
Yes.
How far behind are you on the support on that one?
15,000.
Okay. Do you think it's fair for you to get credit when you're not paying?
I guess not.
Okay. Do you know that it cost Miss Johnson $825 a month just for the child care?
Was not aware of that.
Okay, well, she'll testify under oath if necessary. Okay, so $390 doesn't pay for very much of that, does it?
No, sir.
Will you calm down? Sorry. So tell me what you think would be a fair support. Knowing what her expenses are, knowing that you don't have to drive 5 hours now, just to see her and back. What do you think? Would 500 a month be fair? Can you do that?
That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine.
Okay, all right, thank you. Um, uh, I'll pass the witness.
Ms. Stevens, you have any questions?
I have nothing further.
Okay. All right. You may call your next witness, Ms. Stevens.
Yes, sir. I'll defer to Mr. Fisher to call his own client.
Okay. I call Casey Johnson. Hi, Casey.
Hi,
Okay. And you know you're under oath too, correct?
correct.
Okay. Why is supervised visitation a better idea? Now, let me go back. You do want Mr. Lopez to be a dad and have a part in your child's life, correct?
Correct.
And would you also be okay with a video call for 10 minutes a few times a week?
Correct. As long as the topic of the phone call is the baby and not me.
Okay. And you realize that babies get bored after about a few minutes sometime, right?
Correct.
Okay. Does the child know is her dad?
No.
Okay. Now, on the supervised visitation, I think we had offered 1 day a week. What's the most convenient? You work, don't you?
Correct.
Do you work sometimes on weekends too?
Very, very rarely.
Okay, so are you really comfortable with 1 to 4 Saturday and Sunday? Or do you have a better suggestion or a different suggestion?
So with her preschool, her nap is set there from 12 to 2. So that's typically what she naps at home as well on the weekends is from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m.
Would
So I would
2:30? I'm sorry, go ahead.
12 to 2 p.m. So I
Okay.
would prefer it to be before or after that.
Okay, so if Mr. Lopez could choose between, say, 2:30 and 5:30, or 2:30 and 5, or 11 to 2, you'd be good with that?
Correct.
Okay, all right. Do you think it should go 3 hours, or do you think that's going to be a little too much?
I think 3 hours would be okay. Just if she is fussy or like she was sick recently, I just like to have some stipulations just in case we could make it up another time if she is not feeling good or not doing too well. Yeah, she's been going through a lot, just starting daycare and everything. So everything hasn't been consistent. She might fall asleep while we're there. There's no telling.
Okay, but 2:30 would be a better time to start.
Correct.
Okay.
So I can ensure she has the nap first.
And do you know that the language, and listen up, Mr. Lopez, on these visitation things say that the visitation is mutually agreed, but if you can't agree, it goes to what's in that order. Do you understand that?
I understand.
Yes, sir.
And so that would mean that if you guys come up with something else, both of you, that you might be able to do that, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Um, Ms. Johnson, Casey, was there any violence at all during your relationship?
Yes.
Okay, could you describe that?
A lot of it would happen late at night, typically after either he was drinking or we were drinking if we had a babysitter. A lot of times my mom would come in town and watch the baby for us so we could go out together. There was a lot of screaming, a lot of yelling, times where stuff was being thrown in our apartment, furniture being thrown.
Well, who was doing the throwing?
Mr. Lopez.
Not you?
No, I did not throw anything.
Okay. Did you ever get hit with any furniture that he threw?
I have been shoved into furniture. I've not been hit with furniture, no.
Okay. Do you know what a finding of family violence means?
Not exactly.
Okay, all right. What, I mean, you listen to this, you listen to me tell you what I think ought to happen, and the judge and Miss Stevens and even Mr. Lopez. Of what you heard, what suggestions do you have?
I'm okay with him being a part of everything. I would prefer that there's proof of him trying to do better or get better, because as he was saying, the thing that happened in March is the reason I stopped talking to him, the situation that happened. That's why I cut him off. That's why I stopped letting him talk to his kid on the phone, because I just didn't believe that was in her best interests. So I'm not sure if anything's actually better or not, and I don't have a way to prove that.
Okay, now, I made the claim that you pay about $825 a month, 850 a month in childcare. What is that exactly?
So it's $200 a week.
Okay. And do you agree there's 4.25 weeks in a month or something like that?
Right. Yes, sir.
So the 850 is probably close.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And why do you do that?
That's so that I can go to my job, but it's also a preschool for her. So there's curriculum, it's bilingual, so she can learn English and Spanish.
Okay. And where he agreed to pay 500 support, will that help?
Yes, that will help.
Okay.
That would be almost half of just the daycare costs.
Okay. And you do have other costs, right?
Correct. Diapers, food, doctor's appointments, gas, clothes.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to say? Here's your chance.
Right. Yeah. No, I just want to keep everything as steady as possible. I really don't want to make any changes too soon. I would really like for Mr. Lopez to prove himself before any changes are allowed to be made.
Okay, and you want that app? Why? Why do you want to just communicate on that wizard app?
Because a lot of our issues have happened again overnight, late at night, over the phone. I've been left voicemails, countless of them. I would like for all conversations to be monitored to ensure that if anything like that does happen, I can use that in court.
And that goes for both of you, right?
Correct.
Okay, I passed the witness.
Ms. Stevens, do you have any questions for this witness?
Yes, just briefly. Ms. Johnson, how is your child covered by medical?
She's on Medicaid.
Do you have any other coverage available through work or any other source?
Yes, ma'am, through my job.
How much does that cost?
I believe it's roughly 150. I just got this job, so I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. Do you know what the cost would be to cover your daughter on it?
No, ma'am.
Okay. As far as the supervision provision that you're requesting, do you have a supervisor in mind that you would like to monitor?
I don't know of anyone that could be available as often. So as of right now, no, I would have to discuss with some people. I do have people in mind. I would have to make sure they'd be available at the times.
Are these people that you feel would be fair and reasonable with Mr. Lopez and able to conduct the supervision and to not cause issues?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have a place in mind that you want the supervised visits to take place?
I'm pretty open, of course, like depending on weather, I'd love to do it at like a park or something so she can play. She loves to be outside, or, it's cold now, so we might have to do it, somewhere indoors.
Do you have a specific park or like a McDonald's around that park in mind? Like an actual name and address?
There's a Harry Myers Park in Rockwall, and then there's also like a Chuck E. Cheese and a McDonald's, of course.
Okay. All right, I have nothing further.
Nothing further.
Okay. Ms. Johnson, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm not asking you to give me your location at this point, but you mentioned a couple of places in Rockwall. So are you okay with me setting it up where the visitations would happen in Rockwall?
Yes, sir. That's fine with me. I know that he works there. I don't know where he lives. And like Mr. Fisher said earlier, I don't really care where he lives, not to sound sensitive,
Well-
but I just know that he works in that area. So he's able to travel there.
Okay, all right. Okay. Where do you work at, ma'am?
I work in Josephine.
What's that?
I work for the city.
Okay, you work for the city. As what kind of work do? You a secretary or are you a clerk or what are you?
I'm a utility billing clerk right now.
Okay, all right. All right. And do you get at least 40 hours a week?
Yes, sir.
Do you have other children?
No, sir.
Okay. So this little girl's your only child.
Correct.
Okay. So you must be extremely protective. And I
Very.
don't blame you. I don't blame you. Okay. All right. Okay. And you're suggesting that the visits be from say 2:30 to 5:30.
Correct.
And I'm agreeing with that because I think that's a better plan than early in the morning. It gives you time to be up with your daughter, make sure she gets her rest before he comes. And, then you can actually spend some quality time there. And you're okay with doing that on Saturday and Sunday?
Correct.
Yeah, 'cause I was gonna say, if you work for the city, in utilities, you probably won't be working too much on weekends. So,
Almost
uh,
never.
that's what I was thinking. So, okay. All right. Give me a second here. Are you scared of Mr. Lopez at this time?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. And it's because it sounds like it's more because of the way he's acted and has these outrages where he yells, screams, hollers, throws furniture, because you haven't actually filed charges on him for assault, have you, ma'am?
No, sir.
Okay. And I'm just letting you know that if he'd actually hit you, you know, I understand he shoved you and stuff and thrown some furniture around, which makes you scared because I mean he's acting out like he's about to do something really bad, but it has not risen to the point of actually him assaulting you physically to the point where they would have actually filed charges against him. Is that a fair statement?
There was one incident, but I didn't call the cops within a reasonable time frame, and they didn't let me pursue anything.
Okay. And how long ago was that incident?
That would have been sometime not too long before I left in September of 24.
Not too long before what?
It's somewhere between August and September of 2024 in that
Okay.
time frame.
Okay. All right. All right. Okay. And you're okay with, say, him spending some time, quality time with the child on Saturday from 2:30 to 5:30, and then on Sunday, 2:30 to 5:30. That way she kind of gets used to get to know him, correct?
Correct.
All right. Supervised by a supervisor that you pick, but someone that is approved by Mr. Lopez, because obviously we need to be fair, right?
Correct.
You get to pick the supervisor, but Mr. Lopez gets to approve the supervisor. You
Correct.
understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. And also 1 day a week, maybe we'll pick a day for an evening where he could call, do the video for say 15 minutes, or as long as you can keep her interested, At her age, I understand, okay? It's tough. All right. So if I approve this, ma'am, and I set this up where y'all can meet, what I'm thinking is, okay, video's safe. He can't get to you on the video. And plus, that's all going to be recorded. So obviously, Mr. Lopez knows he's being watched. But if I set it up where you get to pick the place and you have to notify him of the place where the visit will be, somewhere in Rockwall, okay, from 2:30 to 5:30, but you have to give him at least, I'd say, 10 days notice of where you're going to pick, okay? So that way he has time to make the adjustments. And so if I give you that kind of flexibility where you can pick the place, it'll be 2:30 to 5:30. You get to pick a supervisor as long as it's someone approved by Mr. Lopez. Do you believe? And by the way, I'm going to add on here a mutual restraining order, okay? So that there'll be no disparaging remarks made by either side to either side, okay? Because I get it where he's going to use the app pro to talk to you. However, when y'all have the face-to-face time, when you're there, obviously he can say stuff to you. You understand?
Yes, sir.
So, so I'm going to have a restraining order put in place that there'll be no disparaging remarks of any kind, no threats of any kind be made by either side against the other side during those time periods. Okay? Do you understand?
Okay.
If
Yes,
I
Your
do
Honor.
all of that, man, would you be comfortable with that visitation schedule?
One question about it.
Sure.
What would be his time frame if he's not going to be able to make it so that I'm not sitting there waiting on him if he's not able to show up?
Well, okay, that's a fair thing. I would say this, and thank you for thinking about that. Uh, both of y'all need to be able to inform the other side using the approach if you're not going to show up or if you're going to be substantially late. Okay. I mean, for example, Miss Johnson, if you say I'm going to meet you at the McDonald's at 2:30, and you know, because it takes time to get the baby up and stuff like that, you don't get there till 2:45. That's no big deal. But if Mr. Lopez is waiting, you need to notify him if something comes up that you're going to be substantially late. You understand?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Lopez, you understand you have to do the same thing. You understand that, Mr. Lopez?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, so y'all each have to give each other reasonable notice if you're going to be not showing up at all or late. Definitely not showing up at all. Because we don't want anybody sitting waiting somewhere. I don't want you sitting somewhere waiting, Mr. Lopez, for them to come and then or show up and then they never show up. So y'all have to give each other notice as ASAP. As soon as you know you can't come or you're gonna be late, y'all each have to give each other notice. Y'all understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any other questions,
Yes,
Ms.
Judge.
Johnson, with regards to this visits?
No, sir. Just to clarify, I decide where the meeting's happening at least 10 days before. And is it just the supervised person that goes, or am I supposed to sit out in the car and wait while they're inside? Or
I'm gonna leave that up to you, Miss Johnson, because at the beginning, I think you're gonna want to be right there.
I
And
agree.
the reason is, I'm not gonna say you can't be there for the visits, you can be there. Okay, because it may be you can't get a supervisor, but Mr. Lopez is on best behavior, and so you just sit there and say, well, let's just do this, we're good. And it's you, okay? In other words, you have the right to have a supervisor. You have the right to pick a supervisor as long as that supervisor is approved by Mr. Lopez. You have that right, and you have the right to be there or not be there for the visits, because I think you're going to want to be there at the beginning just to get comfortable, right?
Correct.
All right.
Well,
Any
more
other
so for the
questions?
baby's sake.
What's that?
More so for the baby's sake. I think she'll be a little scared at first.
Well, sure. I don't want you just standing there handing the baby over and bye.
Yeah.
Okay. So that baby's got to get comfortable, and I get it. And you know, the sooner the baby gets comfortable, the better. Okay. And again, my hope is that y'all don't need this outside supervisor very long. That after a while, you're able to meet Mr. Lopez somewhere, turn the baby over to him, and say, "Okay, I'll see you again at 5:30," and let Mr. Lopez enjoy the time. And the baby smiles and is happy with Mr. Lopez and safe with Mr. Lopez. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's the goal. That's the goal. Because I'm inclined to do this and only this and not have any kind of change unless y'all modify. But that way it's up to you guys as y'all are progressing to modify and get more of a doable visitation schedule that's not so strenuous on either side. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand, Mr. Lopez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Okay, Mr. Lopez, do you have any questions for Ms. Johnson?
No,
Okay.
no, Your Honor.
Are you in agreement with what Ms. Johnson has brought up as to some modifications of the terms? You okay with that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right. Now, Mr. Lopez, do you think you're going to be able to make Saturday and Sunday visit?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, because don't ask for it if you're not going to do it. Okay. I like the idea because frequency versus duration is more important at this time. How often you see that child is more important than, say, spending a whole day with the child and then the child doesn't see you again for another week. It's more important for that child sees you for 3 hours on Saturday, 3 hours on Sunday, and one day during the week for a video. That's going to get the child more comfortable with you. Ms. Johnson, do you have a day of the week that would be a good day and a time during the week?
Um, probably a Thursday or Friday would be better for the phone call, correct?
Why don't we make it Thursday because he's going to see the child Saturday and Sunday.
Okay, and then we're normally not home from work and preschool till about 6 o'clock, and we eat dinner almost immediately.
Okay, so what time on Thursday evening?
If he would like to talk to her while she's eating, she'll be seated and willing to look, but she'll just be eating as well. So I don't know if that'd be an issue, but she will be seated and paying attention.
That sounds like a plan. So what time is that usually?
About 6:30.
6:30. Okay. Mr. Lopez, can you do that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, all right. Okay, I think I've got all the issues. I practically put Mr. Fisher to sleep, but that's, my goal is to try to find all loopholes and make sure that we're okay. All right. Okay, then. Mr. Lopez, any more questions for Ms. Johnson? Since you're representing
No, Your
yourself, I
Honor.
have to ask you that. And also, since you represent yourself, Mr. Lopez, is there anything else you want to tell the court at this time?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Lopez, do you have any other witnesses you want to call at this time?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Fisher, do you have any other witnesses you would like to call at this time?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Johnson, do you have anything else you want to tell the court at this time?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. And Ms. Stevens, do you have any other questions for either one of these parties before I rule?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. I know I'm long-winded. I apologize, but
Your Honor.
I just want to cover this very, very important. Yes, Mr. Fisher.
I appreciate the thoroughness and detail. I just want to admonish both parties. I trust mine that they need to read and be responsible for all the detail that we went over today, and that it'll be in the order, and that they can't say, "Oh, I didn't know that."
That's correct. Mr. Fisher, will you be drawing up the order?
No.
That's my responsibility, Judge.
Okay, so you're gonna help. Mr. Fisher, will you make sure Ms. Stevens gets all the details in the order?
Anything she needs, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. All right, and I'm going to, before I rule, I'm gonna admonish both of y'all also, and here's where I'm going with this. Mr. Lopez, I can't change the past. I can't change yesterday, okay? I can only make sure that you don't repeat the mistakes of the past in the future. You understand what your mistakes were, correct, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
When Miss Johnson says she is scared of you, okay, whether she should be or not does not matter, because I use a term, perception is reality, and her perception is she's scared of you. Now, Mr. Lopez, you should make it a point for that never to be the case again. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I know I'm being hard because I really need you to get this right. This is up to you. If you want to know who's responsible for where we are today, look in the mirror. If you want to know who can fix the future, look in the mirror. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, it's all up to you, Mr. Lopez, but I need you to be on best behavior when you are with your child, around Miss Johnson. I don't want to hear of any incidents of violence or threats of violence. Do we understand each other, Mr. Lopez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because I'm nervous about giving you the access you've asked for. And I'm nervous about it because I'm not going to be there. And so I need to make sure you understand how important it is for you to take a breath when you start to get angry, walk away, but don't make any threatening remarks. Just don't do that. You got to get under control. Sounds like you're really trying to do that. Correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And Miss Johnson, you know how to push his buttons. Don't push his buttons. Okay? You understand, Miss Johnson?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I don't want him to fail. And I want this to work. But also you need to say, okay, I'm not going to say this, or I'm not going to say that. All I'm doing is I don't need to make him angry. Okay. So I'm admonishing you to do your best to make sure you didn't cause it. Now, there is no excuse, no matter what you say or do, for Mr. Lopez to get violent or threaten you with violence. However, that doesn't mean you just have a open, line here, just attack them and say whatever you want to say. Don't do that, all right? Because we want this to work. Do you
Yes, Your
understand, Ms.
Honor.
Johnson?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, so having lectured the heck out of both of y'all, I hope this works. And I hope to be hearing and reading awfully good things about this little girl in the future. Okay? And by the way, you guys can change all these visits up. We're gonna put in there visitations whenever y'all agree to. I'm gonna put the set terms, but y'all can agree to loosen up and do more, change times, do different times. Y'all can do all of that between y'all. Remember, violence kills it. Threats of violence kill it. No gut, just don't do that. All the progress can be made is in the right direction. I've heard Mr. Lopez offer to pay more support than guideline, and I'm going to approve that. Now that tells me Mr. Lopez is trying and wants to make this work, and that's a good thing. And Ms. Johnson, I hear your daughter's learning English and Spanish at 2 years old, not even 2 years old. That's amazing. So I'm proud that both y'all want her to succeed in life and do well. So, okay. All right. With all that lecturing, let me just tell you what my ruling is. I do find that I have jurisdiction of this case. And I do believe the stipulations that y'all have worked out are in the best interest of the child. Stacy Hope Lopez, I do make a finding that Mr. Lopez is the father of this child, and we want to acknowledge in the order that he is the father of this child. I see the child already carries his last name, so that's fine. We don't have to worry about a name change. And I'm going to name the parties joint managed conservator, but I'm going to give mom what they call primary custody. That means, Ms. Johnson, you have the right to determine where the child's residence is. It's restricted to the state of Texas, so that's a very broad geographic restriction. You can live anywhere you want in the state of Texas, okay? I'm going to set visitation according to what it sounds like the parties have come up with, where it's going to be the first, third, and fifth weekend of the month on Saturday and on Sunday from 2:30 to 5:30 on each day. It's going to be in Rockwall, Texas. It's going to be supervised by a supervisor picked by mom. Okay, so Miss Johnson gets to pick the supervisor, but Mr. Lopez, you get to approve or disapprove of the supervisor. Now, I will tell y'all, if she keeps coming up with supervisors you keep disapproving of, y'all are going to end up back in court. So try to work with each other. What I don't want, Miss Johnson, is a supervisor that basically is so against Mr. Lopez that it impedes the visitation. I don't want that to happen. It's going to be hard to find someone to do that for you, but hopefully y'all can find someone that'll work as a supervisor, and hopefully that supervision won't be required too long. Mr. Lopez, the sooner Miss Johnson gets comfortable and is no longer scared of you, the faster the supervisor goes away. Do you understand?
I understand, Your Honor.
Okay, so at this point, though, it's going to be supervised visitation, supervisor picked by Miss Johnson. I'm going to set the child support at the $500 a month. That is above the guideline, but Mr. Lopez has agreed to provide child support at $500 a month, which is actually more than half. Ms. Johnson, you said it's almost half. It's actually more than half of the daycare costs, but that's good. You need the help because you also have all the other bills. And I'm hoping your daycare costs will go down once this child's in school because you will no longer have to be paying for school, and child will be in school all day, and that'll help. You'll just have after school care. So that's hopefully that works out. I'm going to approve child support of $500 a month beginning February 1st, 2026. I'm going to order Mr. Lopez pay cash medical of $122 a month beginning February 1st, 2026. I'm ordering retro child support judgment of $6,576, and that's going to be paid at $83 a month beginning February 1st, 2026. I'm ordering the parties to use Our Family Wizard or another comparable app, if possible, parenting app. I'm ordering the non-disclosure clause. It's going to go in for both parties. Let me see what else I've got here. I'm ordering that there be video access to the child 1 day a week, Thursday of the week at 6:30 for a period of 15 minutes, or as long as Miss Johnson can keep the child attention. Okay. And again, I'm ordering that the visitation I'm not ordering any other kind of visitation, no holidays, no Father's Day weekend, none of that at this point. I'm strictly making it first, third, and fifth weekends, on Saturday from 2:30 to 5:30, and on Sundays from 2:30 to 5:30. Hang on, let me make sure I'm getting everything here. If if either party has to cancel a visit, for a valid reason, like the child is sick or a party's sick, y'all, can agree to do a makeup visit, okay? And I'm also stating that visitations, whatever y'all agree to, in addition to the set times that we have. The good thing is, Mr. Lopez, no matter what, you get to see your daughter. So if Miss Johnson gets mad, she doesn't get to cancel visits. The visits still happen. And so this is the minimum amount of time you get. So if y'all can agree to more, I'm fine with that. There's going to be a mutual TRO in place, mutual restraining order in place, temporary injunction, or actually it's going to be a permanent injunction that's going to state no disparaging remarks between the parties, no bad mouthing among other people, around the child, either party. Mr. Fisher, you understand what language I want, correct?
Correct. And I'm gonna let Christina do that.
Okay, all right.
I think I got it,
Um,
Judge.
And like I said, I understand child's on Medicaid, so there'll be government provided insurance, and he'll pay cash medical. The visitations will take place in Rockwall, Texas. Y'all have to give Miss Johnson, you have to give him 10 days notice of where he needs to show up for the visit, okay? You give him at least 10 days notice, and y'all have to immediately notify the other party as soon as you know, either that you're not going to be able to do a visit or that you're going to be late for the visit. Either side has to immediately notify the other party. Okay, so that's going to be a part of these terms. That way we can try to keep this going. Okay, and I do believe that those terms are in the best interest of the child. I am ordering the non-disclosure clause as I stated. Are there any court costs involved here, Ms. Stevens?
Yes, sir, we are asking the court to distribute the court cost.
Okay, I'm going to assess court costs against Mr. Lopez. Okay. Did I miss anything else, Ms. Stevens?
No, sir, I believe you got everything, and I think I got it too.
Okay, okay. All right, Mr. Fisher, did I miss anything?
You were really thorough, much better than I would have done.
Ms.
But I just hope-
Johnson, Ms. Johnson, do you have a question?
Yes, sir. I just wanted to get a set date that the first visitation needs to be, because I know you said 10 days. Was that going to be 10 days from today? We start the weekend after that, or?
Well, let's put it this way. We have given Mr. Lopez visitation on the first, third, and fifth weekend of the month. All right. Well, the first weekend of this month is today. Okay. So we're not going to start the visit today. You wouldn't have time to get the 10 days notice. We're going to start it on the weekend of it would basically be January the 17th will be the first visit. Okay.
Okay.
That's
Yes,
a
sir.
good question. All right. So that he'll have the visit, he'll get to see the child on the 17th, and he'll get to see the child again on the 18th. But the phone access can start now. Okay, so I want that to start on next Thursday, the 8th. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Every Thursday. All right. And Mr. Lopez, I realize you've been waiting, but this way, Ms. Johnson has a chance to talk to possible supervisors, starts to look at possible places that it can be done. Y'all can have the visits versus trying to rush all this for tomorrow. It would be and I realize you've been waiting for a while, but again, man, Mr. Lopez, it's all up to you. If you were my son, you'd be getting a much worse lecture than you've already got. So, and I have a son who gets lectured all the time, by the way, about being a good dad. So I'm just trying to tell you, look, I'm rooting for you, Mr. Lopez, for this to work. And I don't want there to ever be any more incidents of the past. Whatever you got to do to keep that under control and do what you got to do so. And Miss Johnson, y'all are good. Y'all are a good young couple with a daughter together, and y'all gonna have to work with each other. I raised $3. Believe me, it's not gonna take long. She's gonna figure out how to play one parent off against the other. So good luck with that. It's, but you know, that's why I got all the white hair. Okay, that's all I can tell you. But anyway, okay, then, any other questions, Ms. Johnson?
No, Your Honor.
Any questions, Mr. Lopez?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Fisher, you have any questions about my ruling?
No, not at all.
Ms. Stevens, you have any questions about my ruling?
Not about your ruling, Judge, just one question. Do you want me to send this for signature and review to Mr. Fisher and Mr. Lopez?
Yes, and what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna set this for an entry date 2 weeks from today. That
Okay.
gives you about 2 weeks to get an order together. Would that be sufficient, Ms. Stevens?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're gonna set this for entry on January the 16th. What that means is, hang on, let me write that down. What that means, Mr. Lopez and Ms. Johnson and Mr. Fisher, you know what it means, but I'm gonna let the parties know that Ms. Stevens is gonna attempt to prepare an order, okay? And then she's gonna send it probably to Mr. Fisher, who's going to make some comments and questions, and they'll work out the details on how to make it fit what I've ruled, so that both of them are satisfied. Once Ms. Stevens and Mr. Fisher have approved it, then they're gonna send it to y'all to sign off on it, Mr. Lopez and Ms. Johnson. Now, if y'all sign off on it, that's wonderful. I want y'all to sign it. But if you don't, I'm rendering this ruling today. So that means it's in effect today, all right? Which means it goes into place today, effective now. So if y'all sign it, great. If you don't sign it on January 16th, on or before January 16th, I'm going to sign it regardless. So it's going to be an order that's going to go in place. We really want y'all to have it, review it. If you see some huge error, bring it to the attention of the attorneys. But if you don't, sign off on it. Plus, you have a copy for your files. You want to have a copy. That's your rule book, and you're going to operate under that rule book. Okay? And I'm leaving the visitation for the future for y'all to deal with yourselves, hoping, and I mean this in the nicest way, I hope I never see you guys again. Okay? I hope y'all can work out your visits in the future and do what's right for this child. Okay? So, and with that, I'm going to go ahead and bring this hearing to a close, and we're going to go off the record. Thank you all for your attention.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Nice-
Judge.
nice
Yes,
seeing
Your
you.
Honor. Thank you.
You're
Nice
welcome.
seeing you. Hey, Betty, nice seeing you too.